author looking to expand your reach and make your book more available in even more formats? Turning it into an audiobook is a great way to do so. Now, audiobooks are becoming increasingly popular, especially with the rise of podcasting. It's easier now more than ever to create your own audiobook. And in this episode of the Delaware Blogger Podcast, episode 336, I'm going to talk about how to turn a book into an audiobook by using a podcast. That's right, how to turn your book into a podcast and some of the benefits for authors. Now, the first step in turning your book into an audiobook is to record the audio, right? Okay. Now, you can either do this yourself or you can hire a professional narrator to do it for you. Now, if you're recording the audio yourself, you're going to need a good microphone and a quiet space to record, like Blake's Booth Podcasting Studio in Middletown, Delaware. And you'll also need to be somewhat familiar with audio editing software such as Audacity, which is what I use to edit my podcast. You want to make sure that you edit the audio to ensure that it's high quality because people will be listening with earphones or earbuds, and it should be a nice experience for the listeners. Now, once you've recorded the audio, you need to upload it to a podcast hosting platform. And there are a lot of them out there. Libsyn, Podbean, Spreaker, and I use Buzzsprout. So these platforms are going to allow you to upload your audio files, and then you can create a podcast feed. Now, once your podcast feed is set up, you'll need to create the podcast cover art. Now, this is so much fun because I often tell people when you remember going to the music store or to the record shop, I should say, and you were looking for a particular album, you knew your favorite artist, but it was always the album cover that drew you into making that purchase. So you want to make sure that you have a nice podcast cover art. This is the image that's going to appear on the podcast directories such as iTunes and Stitcher. Now, you can create your own cover art, Canva or Adobe Photoshop, or again, you can hire a professional designer to do so for you, Fiverr, Upwork, places like that. I always recommend to my coaching clients when you're first starting out, play around with your cover art because you're going to probably change it several times. So before investing in a professional like I finally did, then you want to play around and, do something on your own or get something done with the Upwork or Fiverr. Once you've recorded it, once you've gotten everything edited, once you've got your cover art, you got to promote it, baby. Because once that podcast is set up, people need to know about it. And it's like that adage, if a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, doesn't make a sound. So you're going to have to submit your podcast feed, your RSS feed, to other directories such as iTunes and Stitcher. You should also always promote your podcast on any social media platform that you are active on, in newsletters, emails, your website, business cards, flyers, brochures, videos. Let people know about your podcast. And so once you're doing that, remember, you're creating this audiobook. It's a version of your book. Now, you can do this in various ways. You can do a chapter audio file and combine it. You can do one a week, one a day, however you want to do it. But then once you get that all done from beginning to the end, even your foreword and your thanks and, to everybody that helped you, you will upload that file on an audio platform, again, such as Audible or iTunes. So turning your book into an audiobook is, especially with a podcast, it's a great way to reach a wider audience, and you can make your book available in more formats than just hardcover books. You can have this done in no time. Now, yes, this is a 15-minute podcast episode. I'm going to give you some benefits, on doing this, but hey, I got the book, The Podcasting Your Purpose Resource Guide. If you need help, order a copy of that or sign up for my 5-week Podcasting Your Purpose coaching session.
Are you ready to join the billion-dollar podcasting industry? If so, Blake's Booth Podcasting Studio is ready for you. Whether you're just starting out and have no equipment, or you're a seasoned pro but need help with production, Blake's Booth Podcasting Studio has everything you need. Conveniently located in Middletown, Delaware, Blake's state-of-the-art production facilities make producing your first or 100th podcast a breeze. No matter what kind of project you have in mind, the professionals at Blake's Booth Podcasting Studio can help with your production or give you the tools to produce it on your own. At the heart of Blake's Booth Podcasting Studio is award-winning blogger, vlogger, and CEO Antoinette Blake, and her goal is simple: to help one more entrepreneur be successful. So stop making excuses and start making your podcast, audiobook, e-course, and other online dreams come true. Call Blake's Booth Podcasting Studio now. 302-261-3530. That's 302-261-3530.
Now, before I let you go, I know we went through that quickly, turning your book into a podcast and the benefits. These are the benefits for authors. And I did a podcast called Authors to Audio. And so I'm repeating this again. The many benefits for turning your book, your audio, your hard copy book, your soft copy book into an audio or a podcast. I'm going to give you 5 benefits. 1, it's going to increase your audience reach, right? Podcasts can create and reach a much wider audience than a book. You can listen to a book, an audiobook, on various platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Buzzsprout, SoundCloud, all the others. And smartphones come in with built-in apps for podcast listening. Number 2, increased engagement. Podcasts are a great way to engage with your audience, and you're building an intimate relationship with them. You can use a podcast to discuss topics related to the book. You can answer questions. You can provide additional insights why you wrote the book. You can dig deeper into the characters of the book, and you can really get a relationship going. So that engagement is going to have you standing out from other authors who have books simply sitting on a shelf. The third benefit for an author to turn their book into an audio is increased visibility. Podcasts can help to increase the visibility of your book. People can listen to them on the go while they're on the plane, train, or, even in their automobiles, while they're commuting, while they're doing other activities, while they're just relaxing on the back 40. It's a great way. They don't have to stop and have a hard copy book in their hand. They can listen while they're lounging. And finally, number 5, increased revenue. And we always it's always about the Benjamins, right? Podcasts can be monetized. Yes, it allows you to generate additional income from your book. So those are just 5 benefits for authors: increased audience reach, increased engagement, increased visibility, increased accessibility, and increased revenue. There are many other benefits. And you know what? Audio is so much more intimate, especially when you're authentic and honest. You know how you're going to feel when you're reading your book, and your listeners are going to be able to feel that as they're listening to your voice. You can bond and connect with them, which will make them even care more about yourself. Now, yeah, you can do voiceovers, and that's fine. But personally, I would read from my own book. It's like sitting down to coffee with a person one-on-one. And now more than ever, authors are doing it. And it's an amazing feeling that you're actually touching and talking to someone, right? So podcasting can help you become more of an authority in your space. You can also create goodwill by offering free, valuable information to your listeners. They can, become customers because now they're like friends. And this is a great thing about podcasts is you don't have to spend a whole lot of time on creating content. Why? Because it's already done. You have it. You have your book. You're just repackaging it using your voice. Now, of course, every week you're going to have new engaging content, and it needs to be thoughtful and value packed, but that's what your book's about, right? You're going to spend more time prepping than it is actually recording it. But if you do it right, you're going to get some major rewards and benefits. And you know what? You can also talk about behind the scenes, character creations. There are so many options. The options is unlimited. And before I let you go, if you're listening to this on Saturday, the 20th of May in the year 2023, you need to get over to the Authors Meet and Greet book signing, which we are having today at Helping One More Entrepreneur in Middletown, Delaware. And I have some amazing authors today: Kevin Barnett, Kathy Doyle, Gifty Boating, Dr. Eunice Guamisia, Dr. Anthea Akins, Courtney Everett, Danette Rivera, Kiera Smale, and Mike Werma, and Ennio Emmanuel. And Lois Hoffman, the happy self-publisher, is going to be giving us some self-publishing tips. And I'm going to be talking about podcasting pointers for authors. So you need to get over there with the swiftness. But if you're listening to this at a later date, remember, all these authors supported us. You should support them as well. Thank you all for listening to today's episode of the Delaware Blogger Podcast. And if you found anything that I've said to be of interest to you, please subscribe to the Delaware Blogger Podcast, share it with others. You may even want to leave a rating or a review and check out some more other episodes too while you're here. And I invite you to subscribe to my blog, delblogger.com, because that's where you're finding more podcasting pointers as well as the links to purchase a copy of my Podcasting Your Purpose resource guide. So I also invite you, send me an email if there's something that you want me to talk about. Send an email to info@ablakeenterprises.com. You can schedule a 15-minute complimentary discovery call or enroll in my 5-week podcast coaching session. I provide that for bloggers and for podcasters. So until the next time, this is the DE Diva, aka the Delaware Blogger, wishing you and yours a beautifully blessed day. And remember, sharing is caring. So please share this episode of the Delaware Blogger Podcast with your family and your friends. See ya. It's the DE Diva.